Let's get you breaking news coming in, and this is in regard to Air India flight crisis with passengers falling sick on that Air India flight that was bound for London. Dizzy and nauseous during the flight is the reports that are emerging in regard to this, and the aviation regulator has also been notified. My colleague Vishnu Som joining us to get us the very latest on this. Vishnu, yet another incident being reported involving an Air India flight. What caused this? Was it something they ate or drank on the flight, or poor oxygen supply in the aircraft could have caused this?
Well, that's something that I've asked them, and they simply don't know at this stage. But I think it is a matter of serious concern, I would say, if you've got 7 people on board a flight, that also a long-haul flight, suddenly feeling unwell. This was a flight, I'm told, on the 23rd of this month, a flight between London, Heathrow and Mumbai, a Boeing 777 aircraft. In fact, the same aircraft that you see on your screen over there. And according to Air India, 5 passengers and 2 crew members were feeling dizzy and nauseous during different phases of the flight. Now, they were treated, a few of them, after the aircraft landed, but ultimately they went away, they felt better. Now, whether it's a case of food poisoning or it has something to do with the cabin pressure is something that's being looked into. Now, Air India has informed the regulator, the Director General of Civil Aviation, about this. But certainly 7 people feeling sick on board a long-haul flight is a matter of concern, and that's something which Air India is looking at very closely.
Right, again, putting a lot of concern as far as checks and balances are concerned before the takeoff of a flight, whether it's food, whether it's the cabin pressure, and of course, other checks involved. Is Air India carrying out its checks thoroughly is the big question here, Vishnu.
Yeah, they'll be carrying out all sorts of checks. They'll be certainly looking at the aircraft as well. They'll be looking at the food. But at this stage, this remains a bit of a mystery. But again, if you've got 2 cabin crew members feeling nauseous on board a flight, feeling dizzy as well, then it raises all sorts of questions on, how exactly has this happened? Is this something to do with cabin pressure, which is maintained at a certain level on board all flights, or does this have to do with the food? And I think it's important that the airline or whoever is investigating this gets to the bottom of this, because the last thing that anybody needs is passengers falling sick on board a flight. 7 people on board, including 2 cabin crew members. These weren't pilots, they were cabin crew members, falling sick. It's not good news for any airline.